welcome back to One Pop Podcast. It's your boy CN.
Trev, of course.
Yo, Downville is not here today, guys. You know, a little bit tied up. I have a guest because I have a treat for the next 2 weeks for you guys. But I wanted to give him early so you can pregame. I want to introduce you guys to Alvin Newell.
Hey guys, how you all doing?
We're doing all right. Oh, drop my phone. Look at
that. Guys, I'm gonna say this: the conversation topic in journey in life is profound in the sense of what we're gonna be learning in the next 2 weeks per se.
Yeah.
I have a special treat for Mr. Noel, but I want to take it in segments, guys. You don't understand what I want to give to you guys. I can't give to you because I want a whole group here.
Is that trick or treat?
It's both.
Okay.
Because Mr. Noel, it's not even that. It's crazy how you say it's trick or treat. You know, next week is Halloween.
That's right.
So actually, you know, it's a very profound time for us to give you a treat without tricking you.
Quick question: y'all ever carve pumpkins?
No.
The first time I ever did that, this past week, I'm like, yo, what kind of foolishness is this? I'm like, yo, you want me to dig my hands into this thing? It looked like a whole spider's nest, but I was like, what's this disgusting thing? What you do for love? I swear.
Trevor, you know what? I definitely agree. Because, alright, it's going to sound bad for me to say this, guys. My wife loves stuff like the botanical gardens. Mm-hmm. And I love looking at the botanical gardens by driving by it.
Yeah.
I want you to understand that. So, not to take away
you don't want to go in there and smell the flowers.
No. I don't want to
smell nothing.
Because there's certain flowers that I can say that when I smell, it doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't make me break out or anything. But it's just, I just don't want to smell it. You know, it's nice for me to drive past and then just look at it.
The flowers don't hurt your feelings.
Because, you know, Trevor, look, people are sensitive nowadays.
True.
You know, I want you to understand, the physicality of life is not what's hurting people.
Yeah.
It's all words and things that has been said. Like, not to change the stigma of racism, right?
Yeah.
Racism is both physical and verbal. It's mental in a sense, but what we're dealing with right now in this world is more verbal racism.
Yeah.
Very, very much so, more than anything else. So when I talk about feelings, it's like you have to be very sensitive to things, especially people in them gender, people in them clothes. Mm-hmm. You know, so I want to make sure that the flowers wasn't hurting my feelings, just in case.
There's a group,
right.
Before this group comes out, say he's against our flowers, burn him.
Burn him at the stake.
Don't burn him at the stake. I don't think I look good crispy. You know, so
there you go again.
but that is one, guys. Well, I guess. Mr. Noel, while you're here, I have a topic. I don't think I remember the young lady's name, and I'm gonna look it up. I'm at this moment. I think the fact that I see people being, I would say, dissected or dismembered mentally by what the government or what the police is doing right now. And guys, I'm in a sympathy fact for the fact that in the last year, we've had numerous conversations about what police officers should and should not do, what should and should take place. Mm-hmm. Now we talk about this young lady who got killed, and I'm gonna jump into it. And I know we discussed it before. The fact that she got gunned down in her own home, right, on a wellness checkup when she was shot through her house. The conversation is that she may be indulging in criminal activity based on the fact that she had a gun in the house.
I mean, look at the state. It's Texas, right?
Yeah.
Dallas. I mean, it's an open carry state, right?
Right.
So you know, everyone is allowed to have a gun.
Right.
But I've been looking at at what's happening, and the thing is, what we the citizens are not privy to is what takes place in the training academy of these police officers. Mm-hmm. There's a drastic shift in how they carry out their duties. You know, they operate. It's more like a shoot first and ask question later type of mentality. And this has to be a shift in the training in how they were trained. If you think about it, previously, if you were running away from a police officer, they're shooting the leg to try and
stop you. Yeah.
No, they ain't shooting for the legs. The first shot is to the chest.
Yeah.
Where all the vital organs are.
Right.
So what I just telling you, they're not shooting to stop you anymore. They're shooting to kill you, right? And most times, you look at it. I mean, hey guys, I'm sorry, but we got to go there. Look at who is getting killed every time.
Oh, it's us.
Color,
yeah, it's us.
Right? They're taking in. Look at the guy that went to El Paso. They took him into custody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If it was black, I think they would have taken him into custody.
Yeah, they were unloaded.
I think the guy Dylan Roof who did the Atlanta shooting.
Yeah.
They took him to McDonald's.
No, South Carolina.
Was it South Carolina?
In a church.
Yeah, church. Yeah, they took him to McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
To buy him a burger before that. Yeah.
They say, "Oh, you hungry? Hey, I know you just shot a bunch of black people up, but I mean, you hungry?
Here's a
Right.
free burger for.
But that's celebration. Oh, all right. So, listen, I'm not sure if you heard about this story today, right? And it came across me. I think it happened on Monday. The police officers, two officers, stopped a young man, and I think they found some contraband on him. They put a handcuff on him, and while they put the handcuff, he moved his hand and started running. So the officer, at this point, he's unharmed, and by law, you're not supposed to shoot anyone unarmed unless you're being
Taught that way.
Yeah, you're taught that way unless you're being threatened by bodily harm, right? I mean that or physical harm. They're going to try to hurt you. So the little young guy, basically, 17-year-olds, moved his hand, ran, and I would say this. It feels bad, but he probably looked over the officers and realized they were a little bit overweight.
Eat some donuts too much. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And he jumped over a fence.
Yeah.
So one of the officers went to try to jump the fence, as you can see in the video, and the video is online, guys. I don't want to shed the light on so you can watch a senseless killing. It's just what really happened. So when the other officer realized that his friend couldn't jump the fence, and he's the same weight as him, he got on one knee.
Yeah, his bullet can jump it.
His bullet can jump, and he fired one shot and shot him in the head. And then now they didn't realize that it was being recorded by somebody else because it wasn't body cam that
he
caught
made sure
him.
he got down on one knee, right?
Yeah,
so he was at the range. He was making sure.
Oh, it's Mr. No, it's something
That's
funny.
what I'm telling you, man. The whole training, the whole mentality that how they're taught is different. There's a drastic shift.
Yeah.
In how these officers are being taught.
I mean, so no, it's funny how you said that because when he shot the little young man, he looked over. The officer who was trying to jump the fence looked over him and was like, "Oh, great shot!" Like he was at the range.
The celebration.
So now, in the recording, what the big conversation is that they went over to him, and while he's already dead, they tried to put him in handcuffs.
Of course.
Because at this point, he wanted to look like he was struggling. You know, he was doing something radical, and he was harming you, so you had to shoot. To restrain him. Now, the video footage is showing the young man dead on the ground. The police officer is kicking him, like kicking his body to move him over. You know, and then they're putting handcuffs on the dead man, and I'm sitting here watching it. And to think of is like, what story are you guys sitting here trying to plot in the moment of the fact that you killed him? Now the video footage got out. As you can tell, this is really why this conversation is being happening.
Yeah.
No one is being charged. But the conversation that came from the shot is that the footage was illegally recorded.
Oh, really? Yeah.
What state did it take place in?
I'm not sure. I would have to go back and look at the chart. It's probably something.
Because I know there's state laws that some state laws would be like, okay, you're allowed to record in public, but
it's illegally recorded. So the footage hit the internet because people wanted to get out.
Yeah.
But they're technically saying it can't be used as evidence. So it's thrown out. So you just watch the little man dead, and when the police report said that he actually tried to fight them, like he was trying to harm them, and that's why they got shot. So that's what the video footage would have confirmed, that he didn't even hurt him, Trev. All he did was just move his hand and ran.
Again, I put it to you. Their training there's a shift in how they're being trained.
Yeah.
Because if somebody is shifting, you're trained to restrain them. Yeah. Right? Not anymore. What you're trained to do is to shoot them in the chest. That's their training. That's what they're being trained.
That's sad.
Yeah.
It's funny because we technically have this conversation in more than once, talking about not to hold the strong talk of racism or systematic racism, because it's different. I mean, racism that you deal with people outside on a daily basis is one thing, but when the people who technically is set to protect and serve is being racial, it's a strong conversation. And it's funny because living in Miami, I had an opportunity to watch Spanish cops profile all the Latinos, Latino cops are, and I watched black cops profile other black people. And I'm gonna say something crazy, guys. White people down in South Miami show more love than people in their own community when it comes to that sense.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So white police officers. And I understand why they do it. It's because they're out of their element. Now we live in a different area because they are definitely in the minority.
In the minorities down there, right? But where we living now, I can tell you it's a big difference. Because I've been stopped by the officers just for I would say yielding at a 4-way stop sign, right? And I'm telling you, when the police officer comes over and he looks and you wind your window down and he realizes that you're a black individual, it's a whole nother conversation. The first thing he tells you to do is step out the car.
But you said you let a stop sign. Yeah.
I don't I know. But the first thing he does, he tells you to step out the car. And you ask him, so Mr. Officer, is there something wrong? Yeah, what do you stop? I'm gonna search the car first. Then search the car. You didn't find anything.
You give him permission to search it?
Well, for what I've come to understand, Mr. No, and this is by law because I got put in handcuffs to this conversation, is that if he has any feeling that you may have something in the car, he can use his judgment and do that. Yes, because that was a conversation. Because I was sitting in the car one day and the officer told me, I need you to step out of the car, and I was like, Mr. Officer, my hands are my light and everything. I didn't do anything wrong. And he goes, I need you to step out of the car. I'm feeling threatened. And I asked him, how do you get threatened? And he says, my voice was threatening to him. And then he called back up, and then he put me in handcuffs and told me that, he detained me. So I'm going to run your information, and I'm going to search your car. I mean, fortunate for me, other than me sitting there for like 10, 15 minutes and then search your car, nothing inside of the car. They gave me, was it a moving violation or something like that? And it was like, well, I took it to court, and then the judge threw it out, which is nothing major, because I told the officer that I knew I stopped, I didn't yield. The officer stopped me because he said he thought I yielded. I was like, I stopped at the stop sign, and just to be frank, I said to Your Honor, is that I was trying to get in contact with someone, so my car was in park, and I made a phone call. So I was, if what I would have gotten in trouble for is being stopped at the stop sign for too long, more than yielding at the stop sign, right? She asked the police if the officer was in court at the moment, and the officer wasn't there. And this was in Miami, guys. So this was happening a couple of years ago, and because the officer wasn't there, they threw out the case. I wish a lot of people would know this. If you show up to court and the police officer is not there, your ticket can get thrown out.
Of course.
I didn't know that. I wish I would have known that before, because I guess I would have taken more tickets to trial.
Jeez.
Just for the conversation tip of it. But based on that circumstances, it's like I didn't have to go through. I should never have to go through. And no human being should never have to go through harassment based on the fact of your color or your race. Now, the reason why he searched my car is, one, because I'm Jamaican. So when he went on the window, he realized I was black. That was one. And now this cop wasn't white, right? This was a Hispanic cop, right? And his first thing was like, okay, it was to be rude to me, and I'm in my mind, probably because I've never really had any issues with police officer, or especially a Hispanic officer. I was just flabbergasted. That's the best word I can use for the situation.
They could see the nervousness on you. That's what happened.
Well, I was getting nervous. I was more. At one point, I think when they put the handcuffs on Mr. Noel, I asked him if he can get a sergeant out there, because I told, my thing was I felt unsafe for my life, so I wanted a sergeant there. So that's what held me up even longer, because I needed a sergeant to come out there. Like I needed somebody to come out there, and I told the sergeant what really happened. Right, and that's what got me out of cuffs,
and that's why I didn't show up at court. Because you know, it was just he knew
yeah.
he knew it.
And I would say this, guys, It's for anybody who's ever been in the back of a police car. It's not a
nice feeling.
It's not a nice feeling because, for one, the first thing that comes to you is judgment. Now, anybody who's in that neighborhood who technically seen your car, seen you being detained in that manner, they automatically put you into a box.
Yeah.
And it's not technically a box you necessarily need to be in. You know, I remember they were talking about this young man from New York who has a hefty criminal record because he can't pay a parking ticket. Like, he technically did jail time, right? Now he's considered a felon over parking tickets. And he's like, I've never hit anybody, I've never done anything wrong. The only thing I just couldn't do is pay my parking tickets. And he was like, and I got the 2 parking tickets the same day. And it was written by 2 different police officers. And the state law is what decided, because he went to court and then he didn't have a job, he couldn't pay the court fees, so he went down to a legal struggle of the system. And I forgot his name because he died now. He mentally, when he came out, because and guys, I want you to understand, if you're locked up and you can't pay bail,
you stay locked up.
They stay locked up.
Yeah, stay locked up.
He was locked up in there for quite some time. Eventually, when he got out, because they basically said that he was in there for too long.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this: he went down a very dangerous path, because based on frustration, he started fighting other inmates. Anybody talking to him?
Institutionalized.
And he was like, I was only fighting because I was being picked on, because he looked soft in the terminology. Now, when he came out after being locked up for 2 years, because I do remember it was 2 years, right? 2 years in society, he died because he mentally couldn't recover from that situation. And it's like, how do you systematically, I would say, disassembling people in so many different ways. Like now, I would say this, based on, especially after the shooting of Tatiana.
Something like that.
Something like Tatiana.
Yeah. Shout out to Tatiana.
Based on that situation, Trev.
Yeah.
Like, how do you call a police officer for safety? How do you?
It's been years since I ever called a cop for safety. Like only times we ever do it.
I avoid them like the plague. So I make sure, come to a stop sign, I make sure I stop.
Yeah.
A 3-second rule. The traffic light, my 5-second rule before that I move off. I'm in that light and says yellow, I'm slamming that brake.
It's sad we have to do that, though. But I understand.
Yeah, but I've never had to.
Yeah, because I've been stopped over 20 times, just for the simplest thing. And if you've known me, like, I don't really get into trouble. You know what I mean? I've been stopped over 20 times, either fix-it tickets or speeding, being black. Like, because coming out one neighborhood, one of my old friend or good friend neighborhood. Wait, by the way, he just had a baby. I gotta show you the pictures. Yeah. But coming out for his neighborhood. It was like 3:00. We were just up playing video games, right?
Sando.
Yeah, so I was leaving the house and I saw a cop was parked outside. I'm like, okay, that's weird. I'm about to head home.
You should feel safe, right? Yes, a cop.
Yeah. So
good.
Man, this man, I just made my turn and he pulled up right behind me, pulled me over, saying that you turned on your turning signal too late. And also, you were coming out of this neighborhood, so we know we had to run your plate just because a lot of bad activity happens in this neighborhood. So he ran my information, found nothing, and he said, "Oh, you have a good day, sir." But still, it was like, I didn't even need to get pulled over.
For sure, I'm gonna say this: the individual you're talking about, in that sense, I've never known lived in a bad neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it's very profound to hear that, and if I remember correctly. If I'm thinking it's the same place, it's right around the corner from the college.
Yeah, it's right across the street from the college.
Yeah, so that's not a bad neighborhood.
Yeah, no.
So that's just
excuses. So it makes you it makes some of your thoughts go through your mind as to why these things are, but the thing is, guys, I have a young black son, so I have to make sure that I try and I pray for him every day because for no reason. And these cops, I mean, listen, I hope people out there don't think we have anything against cops.
No, I love police.
Right, good, but there's a fundamental shift in the way they're being trained.
Yes.
Yes.
And we're not. Meaning the citizens are not privy to that because they're no longer shooting to disable you. You're shooting to kill you. Right? And it doesn't matter. You don't have to have a weapon. All they have to have is this cock minister. I feel threatened.
Yes.
Huh?
That's it.
How can a young man in bangles threaten a police officer with so many weapons on his side?
Yeah.
Who should be feeling threatened at that point?
And I'm saying this: if an officer is putting handcuffs on somebody, there's a 90 to 100% chance
you're gonna move.
It's not even like you're moving, so no, he's gonna pat you down first before he puts handcuffs on you. Because the first thing they're gonna tell you to do is spray your legs, right? And they pat you down, and then when they pat you down, and then because your hand gonna be on their hood or whatnot.
But they're telling you they're putting him in bundles for your safety.
Yeah.
Right. What?
How can that be? You put him for my safety?
And it's like it's been a long time since I've seen anyone get pat down, right?
It's a very good question, Trevor.
Because I remember when one time me and my cousin driving from my homegirl house, and we're just get pulled over because we're black, of course, and they asked to search the car, so they searched the car, and they searched us, gave us the pat down. And it was like, yo, you found nothing, but you said, all right, go ahead, just get out.
Trevor, I don't lie. It makes me kind of be excited. Whatever they search, I'm like, if you find anything, let me know. We can share it.
Yeah. So I'm not that slick.
No. They don't like that either.
I know
they don't like you being too lippy, because they are the police.
Yeah.
They are the authority. So
I would say this. I think your tax bracket kind of defines how the police treats you.
But our image
they're not privy to your tax bracket.
Yeah, our image shows us we're in a certain tax bracket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're thinking, oh, you're a young black man wearing a t-shirt. Like one time, I'm telling you all my pulled over stories.
Yeah, that's right. That's where we go this week. Guys.
So I got pulled over heading to in our local area is more where the Prestige live, I guess.
Yes.
Just because I was picking up an ex that was getting her GED in that area, right? So I'm picking her up. So I got pulled over because I didn't know the rule of you're supposed to pull to the next lane over when the cop pulls someone over onto the right, right? So I didn't know that well, right?
Yeah.
So he pulled me over. He was wondering why am I in this neighborhood? I'm like, I'm here to go pick up, which is an ex, which shout out to her. I think she got her GED. I don't remember if she did. Yeah, she got her GED. Just leave it at
all people who get their GED.
Oh my God. All right. So I was telling them that, then they're saying, what do you do for work? What are you doing this? And I'm giving them a whole spiel, and they're shocked that at the time I was heading to college. I was having a job. I was driving something that's not like a hoopty or for that time, and they were shocked.
You were talking about a hoopty.
This was, God, how old was I?
Sure, I don't think this generation know what a hoopty is.
Oh, I'm not from this generation.
Sure.
So,
most people think a hoopty is like a broken down Honda Civic.
well, yes. So they didn't see me on that. Yeah.
Court, so
Yeah. So yeah, they were shocked, and it was one person who pulled me over. Then it was about 6 cops came out and saw me. So it was right in front of a Burger King, and you could see everyone was standing. I had an audience, and they pulled me to the side. They kept me in front of the camera of their police car, and everyone asked me the same question. And the shock of I'm not a gangster or I'm not a real hood dude. The shock on their face is like, what? Oh, you're actually a good one. Like, what do you mean about good one? Right? You understand? It's our image puts us in a tax bracket, or puts us in a political state that thinking we're not good enough to be in certain areas or afford certain vehicles. Like, now, God bless me, right? So, but I'm saying, God bless me to drive something nice, right? You know what I mean? So, if I get pulled over, they'll probably say, "What you doing in this?"
Yeah, it's like you would like to say tomatoes, right?
Yeah,
and it's not apples or orange because if you're driving a hoopty, as you just said, you're a gang member, right? But if you're driving something prestige, you're not supposed to have it. So where's the median? You know, like is there a specific car I'm supposed to drive that this car will label me the not? Please don't pull me over. This is a middle class living. Is that
I work on 9 to 5.
Yeah,
please,
I work on 9 to 5. What is the identifier?
We don't have that. As black, as colored, as whatever names you want to say, we do not have names. Where it's not black, it's not gray. It's no grays. It's black or white.
Yeah, it's no gray area. I mean, I can say that I agree. In so many different ways, because driving something nice, and I would say this: I've had the opportunity to be around a couple of people driving something very posh at the moment, and I'm not going to say the person owned it. It was a rental, you know, and we're sitting in a Mercedes, and it's definitely a conversation topic because when they did pull us over at that moment, the conversation that we got was like, "You guys don't look like you're supposed to be in this, right?" And it was a rental, so and then you know we had to go through the whole spiel and give him all the information, and then he ran both of our names. And something a lot of people need to understand: when you're a passenger in the car, you don't have to give the police officer nothing.
That's another pullover story I got because I was in the passenger seat,
and what I'm saying?
And yeah, my license got suspended because I didn't pay the ticket, right? But I wasn't driving then because I'm like, hey, I can't drive, so I can't drive because my license is suspended. So a good friend of mine, shout out to Pope, was driving us to a pool party, a beach party. Then we got pulled over because he can't park, and the cop asked for his representation. Hey, I want yours too. And I'm like, what? I'm not driving. He said, I don't care. And he got in. He saw that it was suspended, and so he took it. But yeah.
Well, Trevor, you said something that's profound, and I think it leads to what I think we're going to call this episode. What do you think the definition of the good one is?
Good one?
Yeah, because it's like it seems like when black people are people of minority, because I don't want to just put this around black people. This has happened to every culture, as long as you're not white. I don't think the Asian probably get this much, but it happens to every other culture, right? What do they see on us? Because even when we're in a suit, we're a slime ball salesman. That's how they try to put it. What is it that is on where we have on us that link this definition that we're a bad one, that we can't be the good one?
You know, let me take a stab at that. I know you're asking Trevor that, but I think they feel threatened by us. Not threatened in that we're gonna do them harm. Yes, they probably feel that way too. Yes, but they feel definitely threatened by us because they know that we are the superior race. Let's call a spade, right? I mean, I think honestly, that's what the issue is.
Yeah,
is that they know in our hearts of hearts that you know. I mean, when you look at it, when you add it all up, right? When you put it all together, is that it doesn't. I'm really searching for the word to be politically correct right here. But the thing is that, guys, I've seen it so many times in corporate, in the workplace, in interacting with others out there, is that they just feel naturally threatened by us. And if you allow them to, right? If you allow them to, then they do all these silly things, right?
Yeah.
The thing that I'm thankful for is that our upbringing in Jamaica, right, expose us to these things at the early age, right? So we know what it is. We know. I mean, we are the dominant race in Jamaica. So the thing is that whenever we encounter it here in Jamaica, in the US, you recognize it right off the bat for whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I honestly think that they feel naturally threatened by us in all aspects of things, not physically, only physically, but in everything else.
Right.
I definitely agree with Sonoma. I think it's threatening to the fact that they feel like if we're successful, it will deteriorate their race. And it's funny. You know how it's they think about us deteriorating their race, but they didn't realize how much it deteriorated ours, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't understand when stuff started to deteriorate. It brings in a formula of reconstruction to the sense that we're going to get to the point where we're going to want to start over. I would say people of minority has always been the flower that grew out of the concrete.
Mm-hmm.
We found a way out of the soil.
Yeah.
We didn't need nice grass. We didn't need fresh water. It's like we found a way to come out that sliver of a crack that's in that concrete, and it hurts them because what they're trying to do is be a weed killer.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're trying to spray and stamp it out as fast as they possibly can. And what they realize, they need to step away from that, because within unification, right, we can accomplish so much more.
Yeah.
Right? Because, all right, let's take it back. What changed between this generation and the generation of Martin Luther King? Because I would say this, in the era of Martin Luther King, right, and I say I'm taking it back in time, the success that we were being groomed for, I would say created a supersonic burst out of especially the black community, because during that period you found more doctors, more lawyers, more businessmen than anything else. But the conversation would have been what changed then, because from that period they've been stomping harder to what black people look is threatened to now. I would say this in the 80s. Matter of fact, in mid 70s into early 80s, before crack took over America, every young black man that you could see and look at was technically in a suit.
When they devastate the black community by feeding them crack.
Yeah, when they devastated them by feeding them crack. Because listen, I would remember this. I remember my uncles, them love felt hat. It was all about 3-piece suits. It's like, and I'm talking about pleat off it in your pants. I was started seam off it in your pants, pleat in your shirt, and you have your little kerchief in here. So it's like, and that's why I have such a heavy loving for Clark's, because that's where the passion that they put into cleaning. But Mr. Noah, it was professional. Now we're in an age where we see black people, and I'm gonna say black because it's people of minority. The way the dress code is, it's like we can't. It's hard for us to identify. It's like instead of us moving forward, it felt like they realized that we were progressing so fast that they had to put a stop to it. And what happens is that we start going backwards, because look what happened right after Martin Luther King's era. The prison industry boomed. Boom. I'm talking about captured labor, because right now when you're in prison, they have people in there working for pennies, where the regular job, for example, Victoria's Secret underwear is made in prison. That alone tells you. Do you know how much girls pay for Victoria's Secret underwear?
Oh God, yeah.
Right? If you go
how much boyfriends pay for it? Yeah. What do you mean?
I'm talking from experience.
Enough money I was spent on it.
I'm trying to get what I'm saying. And Trevor, I'm not gonna like this. Sometimes you're going there, it's so expensive. You're going there like, yo, is it deals? Is it like I can get 5 for 30?
Yeah.
You in there shopping like you're a woman. Like I'm trying to be discreet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you're in there paying these prices. Now, the same thing that you get inside of The Secret, you can go to Ross, and I love Ross. You can get the same thing in there for $2 or $3.
True.
Right? But we be inside of these places paying for these labors.
Yeah.
So
what are we talking about now? Lingerie?
No. No, but it was a reason. It's a reason conversation of what was like, because Mr. Newell, and the reason why I brought it up, because you're a little bit more refined than I am. You probably saw it coming, or matter of fact, you probably watched it when it was going by, right, Mr. Newell? It's like they started to deteriorate or erase in areas. And we can talk about Section 8 housing, how they basically started pushing people into small communities of poverty,
Mm-hmm.
where when you take poverty and stack it on top of poverty, it only gives you more poverty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you didn't. I was going to call it reestablish wealth in the area, because what happened is successful black people were starting to get separated from their own kind, in the sense that, because I'm living a better life, I don't really want to go live and invest into poverty-struck area. But to me, and I'm gonna say this, guys, to me that's all mental game.
But you know something? I like how you segue into financial revolution. I like that.
That's right, Mr.
Yeah.
That's right.
I like that.
You guys, that's coming up next week,
Yeah.
just so we know.
Yeah, I like that.
You know, because that's so no. Matter of fact, that's technically where the difference is. That's why we need a financial revolution.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and guys, for what we have planned for next episode, it's to show you what the financial revolution is.
Right.
Well, I
right.
have Mr. Newell here with me, and he's going to be spending some time with the One Pot Podcast group. So we have something special in store for that episode. You know, stay tuned for that one.
It's no accident why we weren't taught financial management in schools.
Right.
It's not bad. It's no accident.
Right.
So,
Well, that's a good conversation.
Yeah.
Well, before we dip out, I want to bring up rhythm and flow.
Yes.
And now this is going to be spoilers. Now, see, describe rhythm and flow.
Okay, so for anybody who likes, I would say, American Idol or The Voice, will be able to understand rhythm and flow. Now, the thing I like about rhythm and flow, it's uncensored. So yes, guys, if anybody don't like the cursing, please,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. You're gonna hear a lot of it,
Yeah.
but it showed opportunity in its raw form, and I want to say in its rawest form, because what happens is we don't see, and the thing that rhythm and flow did, it focused on black people, and there's Hispanic in there as well,
And white or
and
something.
white, but it focused on people who is from poverty-struck areas.
Yeah.
Right? And it's funny because we have Mr. Noel coming out to talk about financial revolution, and all the show was technically trying to do is show young entrepreneur musicians what it technically is going to take
Yeah.
to be an artist. Now, I would say this for anybody out there who's an artist, who's an inspired artist, watch it.
Yeah.
It may make you, and it may break you.
It may make you rethink
Yes.
going into the industry, because the industry is not easy. Oh, I'm talented. Of course you want me. No. Talent doesn't get you the millions. It's talent and business gets you there.
Sure, I would say this. Rhythm and flow made me understand Drake's flow a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Because Drake's rap with cadence and space.
Mm-hmm.
And I never understand how you use the two in music.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I watched Janae Aiko perform.
Mm-hmm.
And she sings in cadence and space.
Mm-hmm.
She just draws out the last part of the lyrics. And I'm sitting here listening to the music, and I'm like, she's making mesmerizing music. And it's not that it's mesmerizing. She has cadence and space. So whenever she talks a little bit, she knows how to hold you with a vibe.
Yeah.
And the mesmerization is one of the greatest part about music. Now, Trev, I'll get to the meat of the evening. So now we have a wonderful segment that we like to do. You know, we have the ratchet thought, and I'm going to do the positive thought of the week, something that our listeners can hold on to, something that can carry them on and be nurturing for their spirit. So I think I want to leave that up to you this week.
Well, I mean, a positive thought.
Yeah, something that people can take to move forward within life, hold them. Something that Mr. Noel, this is one thing you always say to me, right? And I'm gonna give you a nice positive thought, like you give to me. You give a man to fish, you feed him for a day. You teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime.
Right. Okay, so my positive thought is that there's no shortcut to the shortcuts.
Mm.
There's none.
There's no shortcutting the shortcuts.
Okay.
So if you already have a shortcut, that's it. You can shortcut the shortcut. All right.
All right. Listen, Noel, thank you very much for the positive thought. And guys, I'm gonna give you my ratchet thought this week is gonna be a little bit different. I think I want to stimulate the mind actually. You know what I mean? In the sense that, guys, if you don't have no preparation and no heart, there's nowhere you can go So instead of being lazy and hanging out in a corner, yo, find yourself some art and some preparation. One Pop Podcast, yeah.